Good morning. It is October 23rd, 2022, and this is my fall garden update here in Cottonwood, Arizona. It is definitely starting to feel like it's moving towards winter, and I'm still doing some clearing out, like this area around the greenhouse. But what is growing right now is, this is cabbages that just went in. Over here is the last of the roselle. This is a type of hibiscus, and it's almost a little too cold here for it, but it's a big, beautiful plant. We had some crazy weather this end of summer, and then into October we had 2 huge hailstorms, which caused enormous amounts of damage to all the greenery. You can even see on this, all that sort of speckling on the plant. That's all from getting hit by hail. So we had one at the end of August, and then we had another one 2 weeks ago. And so a lot of damage and a lot of repair from that. But, you know, maybe we'll get a little hibiscus on here. I don't know if you can see, there's a tiny little calyx starting there. We'll see. The artichoke that was here, I pulled back, and there's a bunch of new stuff growing, so that's doing really well. Here's an empty spot. Over here, a couple weeks ago, I put in some Brussels sprouts and what was that? Cauliflower and broccoli. This just went in. This is Celtis, which is kind of like a lettuce, but then it has a thick stem, and you can cut it up and pickle it, which is delicious, or make kimchi out of it. That's really good. We have over here some eggplant and peppers. The poblanos are still doing really well, still getting a bunch of those. I canned some of those. Over here, the garlic I put in a couple weeks ago is starting to come up. I did 2 beds this year because we had such great luck with it last year. Let's go over here. There's some arugula that I'm just letting go to flower for the bees. Some more varieties of peppers. There's still some basil over here. Some hot peppers. Oh, I hear that wind coming. We're getting a little bit of a cold front coming in, so I am going to be picking a lot of stuff. I don't think we're going to get to a freeze, but it may get into the high 30s. Here is some cucumbers. That was the 4th planting of cucumbers I had to do this year. I had a bad cucumber year with the cucumber beetles and various weather elements. But see, these are kind of in sad shape. This is what that hail does. These were looking beautiful, and then that hail just absolutely shreds everything green. It's kind of rough. There are still a few cucumbers in here though, so I'm letting them be for now. There's some kale growing here. I'll probably fill in with some more winter greens, maybe some mustard greens, collards, things like that, things that can handle the cold. All right, here's our pomegranate tree that has been producing nicely this year. There's even a few pomegranates left down low. There's the garlic again. Oh, this is the sweet potatoes. So these I'm going to be harvesting in the next week or 2. They're doing great. There's a whole bed just full of that. These are great. They do well in the heat, and the leaves are edible, so you can cook them up like spinach, or I spend a lot of time feeding them to the chickens. They love them. And speaking of chickens, we've got our 2 little A-frame coops. This one is empty, and this one is full of our 6-week-old little babies from the eggs we hatched ourselves. And pretty soon I'm going to be separating the boys from the girls and putting them in the other A-frame over there. But they're very sweet little birds. I'm really happy with them. And I like having this coop. You can get it right up here in the garden beds because I can move it around from bed to bed. And then they're well fertilized, so that helps quite a bit. Okay, so let's see over here. This is the apple tree that we planted last year. It didn't produce apples, but it doesn't usually the first year. These 2 little beds now have potatoes growing in them. This is another hibiscus, which actually got a little more protected by the greenhouse from that big storm, and I'm seeing more of the nice little calyxes forming. So, you know, the hibiscus is really tasty. It makes wonderful tea. You can dry those. You can use it in various ways. This is kind of a surprise too. This is a little fig tree that came with the property. It wasn't doing very well, but I put the compost right next to it from all the chicken scraps and waste, and now it's happy as can be, and we're getting these figs all over. Tons of figs every day. It's great for such a little tree. I'm excited to see this one grow. The other fruit tree we have down here is the persimmon, Fuyu persimmon. It got pretty beat up. A lot of it looks like this, but there's still edible fruit on here. Not as much as last year. It's definitely took some damage. The wasps really like it. I keep finding ones with big holes in it and giant wasps in there. Thankfully they're not aggressive wasps, but they sure like the sugar. And then over across here is our project that we're working on, this side lot. We've had a wall put up, and then this whole thing is going to be walled off, fenced off, and this is going to be where we're going to put an orchard, and among other gardening things. So once it's fully fenced, we'll kind of decide what we're going to do. But I am excited to have a lot more space for fruit trees and nut trees, and a lot of stuff like that grows around here. So, okay, I am going to just do a quick peek into the greenhouse. This is all stuff that I do still need to clear. Got some flowers. There are some carrots over here that took a beating, but they're starting to bounce back. After that hailstorm a couple weeks ago, this bed, literally there was no greens on it. The whole thing was just sticks. It's amazing. I was pretty amazed. Okay, and around to the greenhouse. I am glad that those plants have bounced back though. It's tough sometimes in the desert, in the monsoon, although October's a little late for a monsoon. I don't know what that last one was about. All right, we moved our succulents in here because they needed the humidity, and they're doing a little better. This is the herbs. They are doing well. Over here, I guess I can show you in the middle, we have ginger and turmeric, which have totally taken over this bed at the expense of the lime trees. So I don't think the lime trees have quite made it or are going to make it. There's a lemon tree over here that still looks pretty good. I am kind of amazed at how happy this ginger and turmeric is, and I've even harvested some of that, so that's kind of cool. This is a little mandarin orange tree that's doing well in a pot. There's kale, some pepper plants. This is a tomatillo. All my tomatillo outside didn't do very well, but these ones I might actually get some tomatillos yet. Some more basil. Horseradish. Here are some of my starts. This is lettuce. This is a huge eggplant plant that has been here for a couple of years, but I'm not crazy about this type of eggplant. So I've got some growing outside that is a white eggplant that I like better, and I might pull this out and try to transplant that one in here before it freezes. Eggplants do not, and peppers don't like freeze, so they should do well in here. They have done well in here. Here's more peppers. I mean, these pepper plants have been here now for, this is the 3rd year, and they just keep coming back, and it's great. Here's some chard, and then the lettuce. So that is pretty much what's happening this fall here, and I will check back in the wintertime. Take care.